Hello, my name is Noah Navarrete Alvarez. Have you ever wondered the effects the dropping of the first atomic bomb have had on the world? Today I will be talking about the dropping of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and its rippling effects. We've all thought about the world ending in nuclear warfare or mutually assured destruction. Whether it be learning about Hiroshima and Nagasaki in our history classes, the rising tensions with North Korea, or the ongoing war with Ukraine and Russia. It's all something we're acquainted with or are familiar with. It's not something new, but it's something that we have some knowledge of. In the book called Atomic Tragedy, we are presented with the Secretary of War. We're presented with the decision where it's the Secretary of War making the decision whether or not to drop the atomic bomb on Japan. It weighed heavily on him, and it weighed heavily on his conscience and heart. This shows us how devastating the bomb can be. We've heard accounts of it, we've seen pictures of it, like we can see right here, and we've heard tellings and information, we learn about it in history, but we don't really know how devastating it can be. We have nothing to compare it in the present day. The best thing we could compare it to as a devastating tragedy would be the attack on the Twin Towers. That's the best thing we can imagine its devastating power to be. While right now the atomic bomb acts as a nuclear deterrent, it acts efficiently as a nuclear deterrent due to where it originated from, due to its origin point. That being Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The dropping of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki had adversely effects, both negative and positive. The positive effects of dropping the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki was that it was the least casualty solution. The alternative to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as we can see in the website called National Museum of the U.S. Air Force Invasion Plan, was an invasion plan that would have a casualty counter for the Allied forces of 250,000 to 1 million, alongside a casualty counter of the same amount for Japan. Had it not been for the dropping of the atomic bombs, we would have dealt with a lot more casualties, and all the nations would have been severely affected if the war had kept on going. The dropping of the bomb ended the war quickly and ended it where the U.S. and Russia ended up being superpowers, the major two nations. Whether that be good or bad, it's not up to me to decide, but it's an effect the atomic bomb had. Despite all of that, it had many negative effects, as 74,000 people died in Hiroshima and 140,000 died in Nagasaki. Not only that, 5 to 6 years later, the people who reside in Hiroshima and Nagasaki dealt with leukemia, cancer, and radiation disease a lot more often. Not only that, a decade later, people start to have thyroid, lung cancer, and breast cancer, alongside more cancers more frequently. People also start to have more miscarriages. There's lots of negative effects the dropping of the atomic bomb had, and it wasn't only the casualty counter, it wasn't only that it devastated two cities, eviscerating the people, eviscerating the culture, eviscerating everything. It affected the current people of that city. It affected their economy. They were struggling to get back to normalization, to being normal, to being back to where they were before. Those were the effects the atomic bomb had on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Which the atomic bomb had very negative effects to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It instilled the fear into people that the world can end in mutually assured destruction. Which brings me to my second main point. The effects the dropping of the atomic bomb has on post-World War II to the present day. In the journal called Reflection on the Atomic Bomb, Effect on America Since Its Dropping on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it recounts the Cold War during its very high tension state between Russia and America, where the world almost ended. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy said a speech where we're all mortals at the end of the day. We're all living people living on this small, same planet. We all might as well live in it and come to terms in talking about it rather than ending the world in mutually assured destruction. This is a very human way of thinking about it, as we are all humans at the end of the day. We can't do anything against the atomic bomb that's dropped in front of us. None of us can. And that's something we all have to come to terms with. The world can come to mutually assured destruction, but at the same time, it can't. It's all something that's made a possibility. And while it is scary to think about, the atomic bomb or nuclear weapons in general act as an effective deterrent for nations to avoid conflicts. It acts as an effective way to stop nations from doing conflicts, as they're all afraid of ending each other with nuclear weapons. It leads the people, a part of those nations, to have more diplomatic responses and solve things peacefully. While despite the good it does, it also does some bad, as it can be used negatively, as it can be used to deter people from helping out other countries, such as with Russia and Ukraine, where Russia is starting to use atomic nuclear weapons if the West is to help Ukraine by supplying them with soldiers. It's all a mix of negative and positive effects. The reason I'm making this speech is to inform my younger sibling, alongside other people, about the root of our current political tension. It's important to always remember it, and it's always important to remember the adverse effects it had on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and to the people around the world. I find this to be very important, as it's important to never forget the past.